is Shaunee Wallace with Praizevision, where technology meets worship and praise. And I am so thrilled to be here at the Bethel Seventh-day Adventist Church in the heart of Brooklyn, New York, where Dr. Carlton Byrd, the senior pastor of Atlanta Berean Church in Atlanta, Georgia, or Hotlanta, Georgia, is here tonight to bless us with his ministry. The revival, entitled Gospel Explosion 2008, was packed to capacity 1 hour before the slated start time, bringing out all generations of people in anticipation of this event that would feature worshipful music by gospel recording artist Richard Smallwood. The night began with Pastor Eldon King, senior pastor of the Bethel Church, preparing the awaiting crowd for an experience of which Adventism in New York hasn't seen in recent years. With the praise team preparing themselves for worship, a sense of community praise soon filled the air. Praise and worship leader Timothy Anderson, Kingsborough Temple of Seventh-day Adventist member, gives insight on the first night of Gospel Explosion 2008 and what is to come.
If you weren't here, you missed a blessing. And this is going to be, for the next 2 weeks, the place to be. It's going to be on fire, so you got to be here starting tomorrow, June 1st, and come out every night. Pastor Byrd has a word from the Lord, and I just thank God that He's here.
With hearts filled with song, the congregation was ready for the awaiting word, and the word we did receive.
Jesus came to save.
After his inspiring sermon, Dr. Byrd briefly spoke to us about his crusade philosophy.
Matthew chapter 1, verse 1.
Tell us a little bit about the message, one of the main messages that you want our viewers and the people that are going to be attending this crusade to know within the course of the next 2 weeks.
The Bible, the Bible, the Bible, and nothing but the Bible. We have to preach the Word of God, the unadulterated Word of God. And in our society in which we live, we must preach the Word of God with power and unashamed. We can't be scared. People want the Word of God. There's a famine in the land. It's not necessarily for bread and water, but it's spiritually for the Word of God. In the times in which we live, it's very important, I should say, that people know what they believe, where it's found in the Bible, and then why we believe it. So I believe it's very pivotal, very crucial on getting the word out about the word. But then with that, it's not only the Bible, but it's in how we present it. So oftentimes there's a disconnect, if you will, from the person in the pew versus the person in the community, where we don't speak a language that they understand. So I think it's very important that, we preach the Bible, preach the messages from the Word of God, but the methodology and the way we do it has to be relevant, and we must be intentional about that in reaching people today.
And that he did when Dr. Byrd and the Bethel Seventh-day Adventist Church brought in Richard Smallwood.
New York, I am so happy tonight to present to some, introduce to others, singer of singers, minister of music, choir director, pianist extraordinaire, anointed and appointed, my friend, my brother, my colleague in ministry. Won't you rise to your feet, Brooklyn, New York, and put your hands together for Minister Richard Smallwood. And Lord, our fortress,
also sat down with Praizevision Correspondent Michelle Boujoli to speak on his calling to ministry and his latest project entitled Journey.
My mother tells the story of how I would hum hymns that I'd hear at church before I could talk and bang them out and bring the rhythms out on the piano. And I remember being about 5 or 6 years old and never wanting to do anything else but this. I never wanted to be a fireman, or a doctor, or a policeman. Music ministry is something I've always wanted to do. That's why I feel that I was born to do this, because I sensed the calling at a very early age. I knew the calling at a later age, but I sensed it very early. This project is very special in that it's celebrating my 25 years in the gospel music industry. So I wanted to do something a little different, and I want to include some of the people that I love, some of my peers. The Hawkins family certainly has probably been the biggest gospel music inspiration to me. I mean, I really began to write after I heard Edwin's music, so they've inspired me in so many different ways. So, and Kim, of course, is a dear friend and one of the most phenomenal vocalists ever. Shaka recently gave her life to the Lord, and I wanted to bring her on for this too. And of course, Kelly Price, right here from New York. And I really got the Smallwood singers back together, the original Smallwood singers back together as well. So it was sort of a homecoming, I guess, with a whole bunch of my friends and of course Vision. And so I'm really excited about it.
With a combination of effective preaching by Dr. Byrd and inspiring music by Minister Smallwood, the opening night of Gospel Explosion 2008 marked excellence in revival ministry. I am Shaunee Wallace with Praizevision, where technology meets worship and praise.